Come with me and my best friend on a 3-day trip to Boston. We were flying a red-eye, so we got some sandwiches to help knock us out during the flight. Our plan was basically to sleep as much as we can during the flight, and then hit the ground running once we land in Boston in the morning. We were a little worried that the airport would be super crowded with holiday travel, but it really wasn't bad at all. What was bad was we picked a 2-legged flight. The first leg was LAX to JFK, which landed at like 6 in the morning. We sat at JFK for about an hour and a half and then boarded our second flight, which was JFK to Logan International. I'm not sure how old this aircraft was, but everything felt super old school. Like this was the remote to control the screen in front of me. Anyway, we finally landed in Boston at like 9:30, navigated our way through the airport, and then headed to our hotel. Oh, also, this is our first trip together as like big girls. I think the last time we went on a trip together was in high school, and of course we had like an adult with us back then. Our first stop in Boston was Ogawa Coffee. I failed pretty miserably at getting any sleep on the flight, so this stop was mostly to fuel up on some caffeine. I'd hate to say it, but this was not my favorite matcha, and it was like $10. After that, we walked towards Seaport and strolled around for a little bit before heading to our second destination. This spot was recommended to me by someone at work. There was a lot of pressure because this is our first lobster roll in Boston, and I am so happy to say that this was amazing. We got the lobster roll with warm butter and some clam chowder on the side. I'm literally not joking. I could have cried. It was so good. We walked around Seaport a little bit more and then headed to the next stop, which is of course the Boston Tea Party Museum. We didn't actually do like the museum tour thing. We did look around the gift shop for like a half hour. They had so many cute teapots and teaware and of course tea. What I ended up buying was this little mouse. Camille was very much on the fence about buying that quill pen. She decided against it. Once we were done looking, we headed over to the cafe in the back. Here we did the tea tasting. It was less than $5 to try the teas that were thrown overboard during the Boston Tea Party. They just handed us cups and sent us to the back where we were able to self-serve. This room was super cute and it was just a fun experience. There were 2 green teas and 3 black teas. I liked the first 4. The last tea, which was the 3rd black tea, it was a smoked tea, which I've never heard of before. Personally, I hated it, but I think there's some people who love it. Once we were done with that, we headed over to the hotel and checked into our room. The front desk worker was amazing and gave us this beautiful room with the most beautiful view. Once we got settled, we went to Target for a few essentials. We also stopped at a nearby grocery store to get some water for the hotel room. It had already been a pretty long day, but honestly, I felt pretty good. The only thing on our minds was trying to figure out where to go for dinner. We were leaning towards getting Asian food, but we ended up going to Little Italy. This restaurant didn't do reservations, but we were somehow lucky enough to get a table in like 10 minutes. I think it helped that there were only 2 of us and the other parties waiting had way more people. There was like a party of 12 or something next to us, and this was the best part of the dinner because they had like the thickest Boston accents. There was just something so cozy about listening to their yelling and joking and laughing. The food was also so amazing. It felt like a warm hug after braving the cold winds of Boston. There was a Mike's Pastry in the area, so we decided to head in. There were so many people, we were like, we have to get something. But then we found out that it's cash only. We had used the last of our cash at the Italian restaurant because that was cash only as well. We decided to give up for the night and headed back to the hotel. But then we saw a Chase Bank on the way back. Camille got some cash so that we'd be better prepared for the next time. We just really wanted to try a cannoli from Mike's Pastry.